Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to this cricket happening show where we are going to we saw two test matches starting today. One was at Sabina Park between West Indies and New Zealand in Jamaica, and the other one started in the Investec Test Series at Leeds and Headingley between England and South Africa, which everyone was waiting for. So let's go to the most exciting one, and that would be England versus South Africa. In fact, England were the ones who won the toss, but there was a real surprise one in that as far as England team was concerned. This is the first time, and not the first time. They have done that in the past. England have not gone. They don't have not a single frontline spinner in the team. They dropped Swann and they went for. They just went for they went for James Taylor, the wicketkeeper, and who actually made his debut. And they stuck with a four-pronged pace attack of Tim Bresnan, Stuart Broad, James Anderson, and Stephen Finn. Well, whether that was the right decision or not, this would be seen only after the test match is over. Because I think any time a frontline spinner is a must, and Swann, as you know, is such a world-class off spinner. And I was a bit surprised that England didn't have him in their ranks. Well, it was so England won the toss and put the South Africans in, and it was a good decision because there were some seeming conditions. The ball was moving about a bit, and well, there was some movement, and that's the precise reason Alvaro Pietersen and Graham Smith opened the innings. They gave a very good start. In fact, they went on to in fact, let me not go into those real details because I had to cover two matches. So let me start off like this. South Africa finished off the day at. I'm just going to analyze the match here. South Africa finished off the day, the day's proceedings at 262 for 5. So one could say the honours were even on day one at Headingley in Leeds in the second test. For South Africa, the good thing was Alvaro Pietersen, on whom lots of doubts were there as a batsman, finally came good. In fact, he was undefeated on 124 at close of play with 16 boundaries, and all his boundaries were mostly, he was very strong on the onside. And another thing was that he was very good against the short ball. He used the pull shot to good effect, and he was also lucky when a catch went down, when Alistair Cook in the slips dropped the catch of the bowling of James Anderson. James Anderson absolutely unhappy, and that was very early on in the game. Probably would have not seen this partnership go on to 120, and probably would have not seen Alvaro Pietersen undefeated at stumps on 124. But that was a very good knock. That is what the South African innings was totally centered around, that knock. Graham Smith himself played a very good knock. He got a 50 under his belt. He made 52 with 4 boundaries, but he was more circumspect and he was very watchful. Hashim Amla, a victim of a run out where I would say the batsman started going for the third run, so there was a hesitation to going for the third run. First Pietersen was willing to go, Amla was not willing, then they decided. So in the meanwhile, everything was over. Bresnan's throw was a good one which came to Pryor, and Hashim Amla, after playing 2 sweetly timed drives, absolute class when he played that. And one was thinking that after Hashim Amla played those strokes, one was thinking probably Hashim Amla is going to wear the England bowlers down once again, but it was not to be. But England was absolutely cock-a-hoop there because they got that very vital wicket of Hashim Amla, run out for 9. Callis, well, he played some very glorious strokes in his score of 19 with 4 boundaries. All those 4 boundaries were hit with real timing and real class. But Anderson had him as he was caught by Cook of the bowling of Anderson. This time Cook taking a very good catch right near his bootlaces as he picked up that low catch very well. A.B. de Villiers well, his defense was not so good, but as and when he was playing his strokes, oh well, I would say really it was really superb to see A.B. de Villiers just launch into the strokes. You can see his 9 fours he hit in his score of 47, but it was a very good knock from A.B. de Villiers. But A.B. de Villiers, and this was the time when South Africa were doing all the hard work. They were 157 for 3, and it was coming towards the close of play, and A.B. de Villiers was along with Alvaro Pietersen. But this was the time the second new ball was taken, and with the second new ball, immediately it was in fact it was A.B. de Villiers who was gone. In fact, I wouldn't know whether the new ball was taken, but A.B. de Villiers was gone, as Broad actually had him with a delivery that really speared on to the stumps, and A.B. de Villiers was in two minds whether to leave it or play at it, and in the end he chopped it onto his stumps for 47 with 9 fours. And Dale Steyn came in as night watchman, but of no use, as Finn produced a ripper, real ripper. He squared him up totally, and well, Dale Steyn saw the ball went and knocked us off bail, and he was gone. So Dale Steyn was gone for a duck, and then Jack Rudolph had to walk in. He remained not out on one. Alvaro Pietersen was not out on 124, 16 fours, 262 for 5 was the South African score at the end of the first day of the second test here at Leeds in Headingley. The bowling figures, well, Anderson bowled well but without luck. 20 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 42. The wickets were really shared by all the 4 pacemen. Stewart brought 22 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 55. Stephen Finn, well, with his bounce, but he was a bit costly. 21 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 78. But I would be talking about one particular incident about Stephen Finn. Before that, Bresnan 19 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 68, and Jonathan Trott 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 9. As we know, Stephen Finn today bowled one particular delivery to Graham Smith, and the catch was taken by, I think it was Andrew Strauss, his opposite number, who took the catch, and up went the appeal, but the umpire had declared that a no ball. The reason being, Stephen Finn, as you know, he comes very close onto his stumps, and while bowling with his probably his leg, he has actually disturbed the bails, and then the catch was taken, and probably the batsmen were also disturbed, but the umpires had already called a no ball, and now Stephen Finn has to really work on that. He has to see to it that, you know, he has been repeatedly doing this, but now it is time for Stephen Finn to really improve, go back and see how he can improve himself in this particular aspect of it, because this will pose a problems. He might get the wickets, but he might be able to scalp a few victims, but well, there won't be any nod from the umpire. So that is something that Stephen Finn needs to look at. Well, as I said, the honours were even, South Africa and England, but South Africa probably would, if they had not lost those 2 wickets by A.B. de Villiers and Dale Steyn, probably one could have said South Africa would have sent that they were in a comfortable position, but right now we can't say that. South Africa have lost 5 wickets for 262 going on to the second day, and as you know, Leeds in Headingley, the pitch is very the conditions are very unpredictable. Suddenly it is cloudy, suddenly the sun comes out. So these things are something which are very common in Leeds and Headingley, and the match can really be changed in a trice. So one has to really, we have to go day by day. And as I said, James Taylor from England actually made his debut today. Well, so since I have to cover 2 matches, I can only just speak about the match. Now I'm going to take you down to Sabina Park in Jamaica, where New Zealand and West Indies had the second test match here played at Sabina Park, Kingston in Jamaica. Stumps on day 1. The New Zealanders were bowled out for 260. Today, Martin Guptill once again coming to the rescue, and Martin Guptill, as usual. Now, first let me talk about the team composition. In fact, New Zealand had a surprise. They had 3 changes in the team. We had Trent Boult coming in, Tim Southee coming in, and Brian Watling, BJ Watling coming in. As far as the persons to go, Daniel Vettori was out, and there was no place for Chris Martin, and one never saw Tarun Nethula make his debut today. So this was the team. Trent Boult, as you know, is a left-arm pace bowler, so he and Neil Wagner would be opening the bowling, and I would say they are not very experienced. But anyway, one has to wait and watch what really happens. But West Indies bowled superbly today, and Chino Best was absolutely superb. His character on the field, he's a real character on the field. He has an aggression, and he was bowling superbly. I will talk about that. In fact, New Zealand were the ones who batted first. West Indies won the toss and actually invited the New Zealanders to bat. It was a good decision by Darren Sammy, and immediately Brian Watling, who was playing in this match, was gone. He partnered Martin Guptill, and he was gone very early on, as Kemar Rose got him to give a catch to Gale, and he was gone for 2. Brendan McCullum was a victim of Tino Best. Tino Best was the only change here in place of Ray Rompal, and Tino Best showed why he is the best. He came in and picked up a very vital wicket of Brendan McCullum for a duck. As he had a Brendan McCullum, he got a kicker of a delivery. He got a delivery which kicked off the good length spot, and Brendan McCullum was a victim there, as he had an edge onto that, and Ramadhin behind the stumps did the rest. He was gone for a duck. That made it 11 for 2. Ross Taylor, well, he played some very good strokes, gave good company to Martin Guptill. That was the only good partnership which was there. But that was the only century partnership which was there. 103 runs were added between Martin Guptill and Ross Taylor, who played some very, very good strokes. In fact, he had 10 fours in his score of 60. That he couldn't go much, but as he tried to cut a ball which was very close to him, and Best was the bowler, Best bowled with a lot of pace. He was getting the ball to bounce too, and he was a victim as was caught behind the bowling of Best for 60. Kane Williamson, as usual, looked very impressive. His defense was good. The boundary that he hit was good, but well, again he was a victim of Dion O'Ryan. Dion O'Ryan actually took his wicket, but before that, so once Kane Williamson was gone, he was gone for 22. Narsingh Dion O'Ryan, right arm offie in his first over, taking the wicket there. Martin Guptill, well, he played some beautiful strokes. He's very good straight down the wicket, and he also hit some beautiful sixes. One of the bowling of Sunil Narine, one of the bowling of Darren Sammy, absolutely had a stamp of class in it. Timing, precision, name it, everything was there in that particular shot of his. Dean Brownlee continued to fail. He was caught by Ramadhin on the bowling of Kemar Roach for a duck. Van Wyk was bowled by Dion O'Ryan for 16 with one boundary, and it was left to the tailenders like Bracewell with 14 with 1-4. Neil Wagner threw his bat around, and what Neil Wagner showed today, and Martin Guptill unfortunately was run out. He had done all the hard work. He had made 71 runs with 6 fours and 2 sixes, and he was looking good, but Tino Best's throw actually beat him from extra cover, and Martin Guptill was found stranded, and that was the only way to dismiss Guptill today for West Indies, and that they did. Guptill was run out for 71, very unfortunate, and that was the key according to me. So when Guptill went, then Bracewell contributed 14 runs, clean bowled by Narine for 14. Wagner and Saudi and Trent Bolt threw their bats around, with Neil Wagner showing that not only can he play defense, but today you can really sense it. You could really see it in his face. He had that aggression. He was going after Kemar Roach. He was going after Tino Best. He had some words to exchange with Tino Best and Kemar Roach, and it was a real sight to see. And this bloke has a real aggression in him. And the other day we saw Neil Wagner coming in as a night watchman and really stuck it out there. But today it was a different Neil Wagner. He got 23 of just 29 deliveries, 4 fours, and all were hit with tremendous force and with lots of timing. So Neil Wagner also showed that he has the ability to hit the ball very well. So he was gone for 23, as he was a victim of Kemar Roach for 23. Tim Saudi, he also hit 2 sixes of the bowling of Sunil Narine. It was very costly over, in which 19 runs were leaked, in which 18 was the share of Tim Saudi, but that was it for Tim Saudi. He was a victim of Roach for 18, and Trent Bolt was not out on 14, and New Zealand ball out for 260. Kemar Roach 4 for 70, bowled excellently. Tino Best was the best according to me, probably deserved more. 16 overs, 1 maiden, 240. Darren Sammy 10 overs, 1 maiden, none for 31. 26 overs, 7 maidens, 1 for 66 for Sunil Narine. And Narsingh Dion O'Ryan took 2 wickets for 43. West Indies in reply were 11 for no loss. Chris Gale was not out on 1. Kieron Powell was not out on 10 after playing 5 overs. Probably Chris Gale has reserved everything for doing it tomorrow, because he's just batting on 1. Kieron Powell hit 2 fours, and Tim Saudi and Trent Bolt were the bowlers. Well, unfortunately this YouTube broadcast doesn't prevents me from going any further. Thank you for your company, and thank you for watching Cricket Happenings. But again, telling you something tomorrow to my dear friends and subs of Cricket Happenings, that tomorrow it will be an early Cricket Happenings show in the morning. I would be coming only with an update of the lunch report of the second day's play between England and South Africa. Due to shortage of time, I have some other pending commitments to catch up. I'm sorry about that. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the cricket show for today. See you all tomorrow with a lunchtime report on the second test. Thank you.